Hi y'all, Knife Detector here. And I want to first of all thank all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. I hope you like my videos. If you're new to my channel and my videos, I usually make videos on vintage knives, knives that are seldom seen or that you may have had when you were younger, or knives that you may have saw your daddy have or your mommy and your aunt and uncle and all of a sudden you lost track of. Well, I like making those kinds of videos because many times I find that knives are attached to stories. And this is one of those videos. Sometimes I like to make videos that come with a story. And this one comes with a little story. Once upon a time, there was a boy who loved knives. And he got engaged to a girl that fed his passion, that being my wife. And so we were engaged, and it was the mid-90s. And my wife saw this beauty at a store called Service Merchandise. And I've talked about this before in some of my other videos. That store closed down years ago, but you would pick the thing you wanted. You'd fill out a little piece of paper with your name and information, and then you'd give it to the cashier. The cashier would give it to the warehouse people in the back, and lo and behold, down the conveyor belt comes a box, and it's your item, and it's like Christmas. And then you get to pay for it. So anyway, that's how I got this guy. I think it was for my birthday that my future wife bought it for me. Guys, if you have a wonderful lady in your life or a wonderful significant other that feeds your passion, and that's a sign you got a good one. So she fed my passion, and she's continued to feed it all these years, right? And so she bought me this knife, and what this is this is a Puma Hobbytec, and they're advertised as handmade knives. And this guy went everywhere with me. However, this guy, because he went everywhere with me, did get some use. So let's talk about that. But first, before we talk about the knife, let's talk about the sheath a little bit. And check this out. So this is not your cheap sheath. This is not the kind of sheath that's going to tear on you. This is some heavy-duty nylon. And then you got the Puma emblem right there in green and gold, which is, I think, pretty cool. Now, you can wear this sheath vertically, like so, or horizontally. But if you put your belt through it, this sheath is not going to come off your belt. I mean, this goes all the way through. We're not talking about two little straps, one on each side. This goes all the way through in there. So this is a heavy-duty sheath, right? And I would wear this very often. In fact, because I would put it on my belt's about that wide. So honestly, people wouldn't even be able to tell that I had it on. So loved it for that reason. So one day, because I do use my knives, guys, I was out working on a fence. And when I was out there working on a fence, I realized I didn't have a screwdriver. I didn't have anything that I could use to pry open the dreaded paint can lid. So guess what I did to my little Puma Hobbytec? I pulled out my little Puma, this little Puma, not that little Puma. And you guessed it, I broke the tip. I broke the tip. And as you can see right there, this used to be about, probably about 2 or 3 millimeters longer. So at that time, I didn't have hardly any tools. I didn't have a grinder or anything like that. I don't know what I used to fix this. I think I might have just used different grits, sandpaper, and maybe a stone. And I just tried to polish the heck out of this thing to get it to where it was more or less original looking. And as you can see here, you can see the natural pattern of the steel, and then here it just gets a little smoother. It does have still a decent edge on it. It's just that you can break the tip on any knife, guys, if you bend it far enough. And that was a little battle between this knife and the paint can lid, and paint can lid won. And ever since then, I don't use this knife very much because I really like it. I really like it because it's a good memory for me. And oftentimes I think about what happens to our possessions, right? Because I have many knives, and I think about who owned them before me. And if you hold on to the knife, sometimes you can think about what that person must have been like, how they treated their things, and generally if they took care of their things or if they tried to fix something when it was broken. There are certain things you can tell by looking at a knife about the previous owner. Another thing about this knife is it has a little serial code right in here where you press the button, just to let you know it's authentic, right? And this is a Puma Hobbytec, and it usually tells you that right on the edge, right on the side of the blade. Handmade, Puma Hobbytec, Germany, stainless. So sometimes I think about what's going to happen when I pass on. Who's going to get this little guy, right? Will this be sold off with my possessions? Will my daughter keep this and give it to her son or daughter? Or will she give it to her husband as a keepsake? And then I think that I want to believe that a little bit of me goes on with this guy. And a little bit of everybody goes on in those possessions that they really take care of and put a lot of their love into. So in any case, I don't use this guy very much anymore because I did break the tip and it means a lot to me. But I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to share it with you because it's a piece of my past. It's a piece of my history. It's a beautiful knife. If you guys have occasion to get one of these, it's a beautiful knife to have. And it came with a beautiful original sheath. Durable nylon, right? Not the cheap stuff. And because of that, you know, I think that not a lot of people know these are out there, you know. And these were popular in the 90s. And if you look closely, you might find one on eBay, right? Here's another Puma emblem right there, little badge. And a lanyard hole if you want to put something in there. Great knives, guys. Check them out if you get a chance. This is the Knife Detector signing off, saying I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. God bless you guys. Spend time with your family.